Hello, hi everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Happy holidays. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. I admit it's been super long that I haven't been back, but it's nice to see you guys. So recently I read a book, which has been like probably 1 month ago. This was a book that I meant to introduce to you guys, but it took me a bit more time. So after reading it, I had to reread the parts to make sure I deliver you guys the right content. So this is a book by Robert Schwartz. It's called Your Soul Plan. And this is wonderful. It's a beautiful, beautiful story telling us that there's different case scenario. Whenever we come in life, there's so many situations that we can have different kind of soul. So we as soul, we will reincarnate onto different kind of form, different kind of circumstance, different kind of life path. You might have an accident, you might have different situations, but a lot of them are preordained. Like a lot of people that are in your life right now, that are your friends or your relative, they were meant and they were placed there. So for example, they were meant to teach you different kind of things for you to grow and evolve on your spiritual path. So you will understand there is no bad person inside of this life. So when it comes to your soul journey, a lot of times, for example, you will come in to learn about different kind of aspect, compassionate, or you would learn about kindness or different kind of forms, or sometimes you're here to alleviate the fear that is deeply within you. You will learn, sometimes some reincarnation is for you to alleviate certain pain. So it's a healing process for you. So Robert Schwartz actually worked with 4 mediums. They have certain ability whether to see different kind of soul plan, life plans of people beforehand. And for this case, I am going to illustrate the stories of a case called Jennifer. Now, Jennifer has 2 handicapped children. So basically, Robert Schwartz, the author, he actually works with 4 people that are very spiritually gifted and they have the ability to see people's soul plans. So with this said, there's a case of Jennifer. Now, Jennifer has 2 handicapped children. So one is Ryan. So Ryan is extremely gifted. He has Asperger's syndrome, which we know it's part of the classification of autism, and he also has bipolar disease. So it is very hard for him to convey and talk to friends and things like that. He is very much like closed in, but he is very passionate when it comes to the weather, when it comes to politician. He tries to talk to them, write letters to them. Very passionate child, and he was 16 years old, very passionate. And then Jennifer also has another children, and the other children is called Bradley. Bradley is 10, 11 years old, and he has autism, but he's also blind. So Jennifer went to see Robert because she didn't understand how come she would give birth to 2 of those children that have certain handicap in their life. She also has a perfectly normal children called Sarah. I'm sorry for the terming here. I hope you guys don't mind. All very, very smart, very, very caring to 2 other brothers. So Jennifer, when she came in, she said, you know what? I don't understand. She's a single mom. How could I have gone through this journey that my children are the state that they're in? It's very hard to communicate with them, and it pains her, because sometimes you will want to cry on this circumstance. But as it turns out, when Robert invited Stacy and invited Colby, another person that could see their soul plan, allowed for her to get the answer properly to her. And inside of this, they said, well, for Jennifer, she had to work about empathy, compassion, and kindness. She is an older soul and she is much more evolved, and carrying these 2 children will allow for her to even evolve better because she's already evolved, so she's helping them. In that sense, she actually had Bradley, the smallest children. So he was raised in an orphanage in a previous lifetime. It was very hard. It was very difficult with him, and he could not want to see the awfulness of earth and the hardship, the cruelty, because he was not being that well taken care of in that lifetime in the orphanage. So he chose blindness, so he could not see so he could stay very happy and compassionate in this lifetime, for him to be here to see the beauty of things, so he could hear. Now, there is also the case of Ryan. Now, Ryan, in that lifetime, he's been a scholar for many, many lifetimes, whether he was a male scholar or a female scholar, but he worked a lot of lifetime, a lot. But for him, it was hard. It was very hard for him because he said that it was a lot of pressure. He cannot succumb to the fact that he always had to deliver scientifically, and this lifetime, he just wants to rest. He wants to have this lifetime where he gets to rest a little bit. So because he wants to rest a little bit, he said, I don't want to have that much pressure in my life. So he chose to have those diseases happening upon him, so he can actually feel relief of the pressure of what he needs to do in the previous lifetime, that what he had to do. And this allowed him to feel much better upon himself. Now, there's also Sarah. Now, Sarah is always so amazing, that been taking very good care of the two children. And Sarah was actually a very close friend of Bradley in the previous lifetime. So this lifetime, she said, I'm going to come in and I'm going to support, because Bradley needed to have a friend inside of his life. So Sarah stepped in as a soul and said, I'll be here to support him on this journey. So you can understand, a lot of time, whenever you see life in a certain perspective, it's bad, it's not going well, why is my DNA like this? How could I have given birth to a child that is very different from other child? And they blame themselves, they shame themselves. In reality, they have to see from a bigger perspective that there is a reason for that. It is because, like that, Jennifer can learn about compassion, kindness, and help the other soul evolve higher. And also for the soul to also allow for her to speak, to communicate very effectively, for her to also stay very focused in the task at hand. So if you see it from a different perspective, you will see, oh, there's nothing wrong having a handicapped child. And also for a lot of these parents that have handicapped children, they are very, very grandiose souls, because they come in here with the very big compassion, wanting to support their children, supporting souls for their evolution. And when you could see it this way, you could see they're very amazing souls, just supporting people on their journey so they can evolve higher. So you have to give yourself a big round of applause if you actually is on a journey like this and you are parent to children that are going through certain disabilities. So also there's a case of a girl called Penelope. So she is deaf, okay, so she can't hear, and for her it was such a hard journey for her, and she was wondering this whole lifetime. She was like, when she was 17, she's like, why am I like this? Why am I deaf? Now you will see she actually has a soul plan beforehand. So Penelope is a light worker, and she was fiancée to a man, and she is actually a teacher. And for her, she has great passion and compassion for all of those that are people that cannot speak, they're deaf, they have certain disability level, because she wants to support them like that. And for her session, it was very powerful. It was also with Stacy. So Stacy, what happened is during her sleep, she started to channel through inside of her dream all those different things that happened to Penelope in a previous lifetime when she was a child, because she was a child and she had a mom, and her mom had a boyfriend that was constantly verbally abusing her. As the situation, the relations escalated, it became worse and worse for her. And for her, it was so tough. She would constantly hear the verbal abuses, and eventually it became physical. Because it became physical, it was very dangerous for her, of course. And one time, she was at her neighbor's house. She would hear sounds of her mom's controlling boyfriend throwing things inside of their home. And they were screaming, they were yelling. And of course, her mom is threatened to be with him, right? So she didn't have too much of a control. So during that day, her mom was trying to escape from her boyfriend, so she locked herself in the bedroom. The boyfriend actually kicked the room. He took the gun and he shot her. And when the neighbor and Penelope came to the scene, boyfriend has shot himself in the head, and he was sobbing after he killed Penelope's mom. In that life, she got to hear a lot of those sounds, right? And she actually passed away of a suicide in her 30s, in that lifetime of Penelope. It was very hard for her. So when she went back, soul level, she said, this lifetime, I never want to hear any sound like that. There are those sounds of screaming, hurting, shouting, those things, gunshot. She doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to know about it. So her spirit guide were very kind, and they said it's going to be more of a harder journey, and they talked to her how to elaborate so her journey is more smoother, right? So in the end, she chose to have being deaf. But she also chose to have Penelope as her mom again. So they managed to reincarnate. But for the Penelope's boyfriend at the time, he said, okay, I'm not going to reincarnate this lifetime because it will scare Penelope in this lifetime. So he chose to wait on his turn to reincarnate. So you understand that this lifetime. So Penelope's mom was actually supporting the soul of this boyfriend so he could learn about a lot of self-worth and self-acceptance. And because of time that they have gone through together, Penelope chose to be deaf and not hear anything. But this will allow for her to feel much more at ease when she reincarnates. And also Penelope's mom decided to actually support the boyfriend on another journey when it comes to his growth and soul evolution. So we would understand that kind of circumstance, a lot of things where we think, oh no, it seems like negative. We need to change our perspective on how we see things. There is a higher angle, a higher stake ahead where we could see things, it might not be what we think it is. And in that perspective, we can understand that in this scenario, there is no bad. And there is also just a way for us to learn about the evolution and how we could grow into a better, evolve into a more compassionate person. And this is all I wanted to share with you guys today. And I hope you guys have a happy holiday season. I will come back with a part 2 because I think this is so interesting when it comes to soul plans. So with this said, happy holidays, guys. Bye-bye for now.